Hey everyone, welcome to The Huddle. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada today at our Marketplace Seller Summit, which we appropriately have called Let's Grow. The Marketplace business is really exciting. It's growing. Our entire team is here. We have about 1,000 people, or probably more now in the seller community, who are here joining us to learn about all the opportunities that they have at Walmart. And that can be everything from the Marketplace to selling in stores, then the Marketplace. A whole wide range of options are here today. But I want to talk to you today about Erica, and I want you to hear her story. She's an amazing entrepreneur who I've just begun getting to know. But Erica, thanks for joining.
It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We were just talking about places we both lived, and we had in common. You live in Richmond. I was there about 25 years ago.
And it's a great spot.
It is. It's a great city and a great place to run a business. But you started in Iowa.
Yes.
Which is not anywhere near Virginia.
Exactly.
And so talk about the business, what you do, how you named it, and how you got to Richmond.
Absolutely. So I was in my junior year of college when I lost my leg in a car accident. Struggled dressing myself in the morning. It was my first prosthetic was huge. I couldn't find anything that fit over the top of it. And I'd been sewing since I was pretty young. So I went to a sewing machine. I started altering clothes for myself. And then long story short, it snowballed. I started altering clothes for people in the amputee community. And then I started altering clothes for people with a wider range of needs in the adaptive space. I finished my degree, and my degree is actually in chemistry. And then I decided that I wanted to see how far I could take this business. And we were talking about, where the name No Limbits came from. It's spelled Limbits, and it's just a nod to myself and where the company started and where we came from, but it's encompassing of how we want people to view the brand as like a very positive thing. Adaptive clothing has been traditionally a very medical thing. So we wanted to pull it into a fun lifestyle space. So now we're a team of 6 people. We were on Shark Tank. We're growing on our own platform. We're growing with Walmart.com. So it's a really exciting time. We serve 4 core populations of the adaptive community. So folks with lower limb difference like me, wheelchair users, people with limited dexterity in their hands and arms, and folks with sensory processing disorders. So it's been a really fun journey to get here.
Yeah, well, it sounds amazing. Now, this started with an accident, and I'm assuming that it must have been really tough for you personally, to adapt your lifestyle and what all you went through, but quite inspirational that it went from probably a very tough time to now a business that's thriving and growing. And you just talk about what were the emotions like? What was that like at that time?
I think at the time I was very focused on getting back to normal. And then over time, I realized that there's a new normal. I'm not going to go back to doing everything that I was before, but maybe I'll get back to all of those things in a different way. So that's why I love the word adaptive and why it's incorporated into our vocabulary and what we do is like, you're still dressing, you're still wearing the same cool clothes that everybody else is, but they're adapted to your specific needs. And starting the company really was part of my healing process. It was a way for me to engage in the community that was very welcoming of me when I was first. It was a night and day difference. I was one day able-bodied and the next day, missing a limb, not able to walk. And that community welcomed me. So being able to engage with them every day now for my job is just incredibly rewarding.
And I'm sure there's an element of what you went through then and you do for others, which is you're not alone.
Absolutely. And meeting people where they're at too. I think, in this space, there's a lot of I remember friends sending me pictures of Paralympians. They're like, you're going to do this. And I'm like, that's amazing. And I love that. And that's so inspirational, but that's not where I am right now. And so a big part of No Limits is meeting people where they are in their journey with their disability, no matter where they're at. And embracing that as the emotions that you're going through, but also showing disabled joy and that this can be a fun lifestyle thing. It doesn't have to be a super medical experience.
Right. I was just about to ask, and you're starting into it, where you get your inspiration, for style. I love meeting people with that. We talk about in business a lot. You have to respect the past, manage the present, and build for the future. And you have to respect the past, but you can't go back to it. And you can't live in it.
Right.
So things are different today in business than they were a year ago and 5 years ago. and your life changed and you just embrace it. But I'd love to, talk about your inspiration for fashion and where do you look and where do you make sure that people are getting the best of what they can get from your brand?
Absolutely. So we're a small brand. We're limited in the number of SKUs that we can produce, right? So we want to make sure that the pieces that we're creating are the most impactful in someone's wardrobe. So when we started, it was like jeans, jeans, jeans. Everybody we interviewed, everybody wanted jeans. So we're like, okay, we're going to start there. And we did. And so we have jeans for people with lower limb difference, jeans for wheelchair users, and we're coming out with a limited dexterity denim here soon too. And then we started to grow from there. So in sensory friendly, we started to introduce base layers. And so that way, something that you put over the top is then sensory friendly. We want to identify what are those everyday pieces that are most impactful, kind of from a capsule wardrobe perspective, where if that thing was adaptive, then you can design the rest of your outfit around it. And it's been a really rewarding approach for us so far. So I'm excited. We're designing literally an adaptive little black dress. We're like, what are those little black dresses? Well, we're doing that now. And then we're excited. Later this year, we're launching our first adaptive outerwear piece. So we're launching a jacket for people with limited dexterity. So we're like, all right, everybody needs a jacket. Everybody needs a pair of jeans. Every woman needs a little black dress. Let's start there and start expanding.
Perfect. And so from the perspective of a small business, it was just you relocated, now it's 6 people and growing. What's that been like? Is it scary? Is it scary to take the risk? How did you decide to just go all in? You're a chemistry major.
Yes.
Which is a little different than apparel branding.
A very nice job offer, yes. At the same time as we were scouted by a really prestigious incubator. And so I had both of these offers on the table, but there was something just, honestly, it was a gut feeling. Like I needed to see how far I could take this. And at the same time, I was looking at this space and I was realizing that no one else was doing it. And if they weren't going to do it, someone had to. And I was kind of in this unique position of, though I didn't have the business skills, I had, at least my personal experience, and I had my sewing machine, and I kind of understood garment construction from a very basic level, and felt that I needed to see how far I could take it. So I gave myself 6 months. I was like, I'm going to give myself the length of this program. We're going to see where we're at the end of it, and I can always go back. And now we're 3 years later and we're still growing, and it's just an incredibly rewarding experience. I am super proud of the team that we've built around it. Like the stars aligned in terms of bringing together the most passionate people in adaptive fashion and just an absolute force of a team. And really making waves in this space. I'm proud of the impact we've been able to have as just 6 people.
Yeah, it's amazing. Were there people saying, but Erica, you have this degree in chemistry? Like you put all this on there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My parents are like, what are you doing? Yeah. And how do you learn that? But honestly, at the beginning, my mindset was like, I'm at a disadvantage because I don't have this business background. But that was absolutely not the case. A startup is so different than anything that you may learn in business school. It was all like a mindset thing versus actually being at a disadvantage from not having that business background. So.
Right. And for people that are listening or watching, what would you tell them if they have an idea, if they have a dream like that? What encouragement would you give them? Yeah,
I think having the courage to get started and then looking at it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So step by step, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to quit my job to start this thing. You can start growing slowly alongside of your day job and then come to a point where you make that decision. It doesn't have to be black and white like that. And that's really powerful. And there's something very beautiful about growing and knowing that you're the only one kind of setting your own potential is the thing that I love about it that I did not expect when I started.
Yeah, well, find something you love and call it work later. And,
yes.
and then it does become work because you were, I'm sure, at times the CEO, the founder, the CFO, the banker.
Definitely.
Making the apparel, you're the buyer, the designer, all of it at once. So the event we're at, the Seller Summit, great that you're here, first of all, and there's just a lot of energy and buzz going on around us. So how's it feel?
It's amazing. We first interacted with Walmart.com. It was actually an inbound cold email. They were like, have you ever considered being on the Walmart.com platform? And then I learned about Walmart's adaptive experience that they were building. And so I was like, that's incredible. I think there are like 60 people on the Enable task force across Walmart to increase accessibility. I was like, this is someone that's doing it right. And we were so proud to be part of that initial experience. And there's my picture on the Walmart homepage for a while in Disability Pride Month. That was wild. So it's really cool that we get to grow alongside the adaptive experience that Walmart is launching. And it's a cool moment in time for the adaptive market, being the adaptive space is now kind of a category alongside, you know, you've got men's, women's, kids, maternity, plus size. Now adaptive is another category within apparel, which is how I've been trying to drive my own business, and to see Walmart kind of come to that same conclusion and be able to work on it together is, I mean, just a mind-blowing kind of pinch me experience.
Well, it's always great to work with people where your mission and your purpose is similar, and we save people money so they can live better. And we're proud of the fact that we're a people-led, tech-powered, omni-channel retailer. And it's people-led first for a reason. It's people matter. We've said for years, our people make the difference. And one of the best things I get to do almost every week, wish I could do it every week, is make it around the country to see all of our associates in stores and hear their story about who they are and what they've accomplished. And again, this entire event is about opportunity. And you are a fantastic example of that. And I'm really proud that we get to work together. We're getting to know each other.
Absolutely.
And wish you all the success in the world and keep going.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure after the next line, 6 is going to be a bigger number, and there'll be more and more lines coming. Really exciting. Well, thanks for your help today, and it's been great spending time with you.
Thank you so much. So great to talk to you, John.
You too. Thanks. And everyone, will see you out in the stores and in the facilities. Thanks.